Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. I have a quick video to show you guys, only because I ran out of resin, and since I'm either abroad already or getting ready to travel, I did not have time to order more resin at the time of this film. Rest assured, we'll get back to that as soon as possible. But I wanted to talk to you guys today about Catia Stands, a recent crowdfunding campaign from Velrock, or Velrock Arts, as I recall them. But anyway, so Velrock has been putting out models for a while, mostly fantasy, but has slowly but steadily been branching into some really nice looking sci-fi stuff for quite a while now. But when they decided to go ahead with their whole cat flavored guard regiments, both myself and Sparkletrot had to take a closer look. So here we have the results. And I got to say, this is a really cool looking model. Now, granted, it's not the best print job. I mean, I know I'm guilty of that. And you can see it's not superly over the top kitty cat furry friendly. Obviously, he does have fur all over his arms, around his neck. But here's the cool thing with him. Oh, and the pointy ears, naturally. You could have his neck on me. But one of the cool things about Velrock's stuff is that, much like Anvil Digital Forges, there's a lot of layers of mesh work going on here. So if you wanted to, obviously, also remove all the supports there by his face. One of the cool things is, if you get into like Blender or Mesh Mixer, is you can actually strip away and modify a lot of the stuff that he's actually equipped with. If you don't want to have the backpacks on, no problem. That's a file that they can just take it off. Same with all the gear, the extra armor, the helmets, so you can have a completely unhelmeted, completely enclosed helmets. There's a whole ton of variety in terms of how you can set them up. And obviously, being a basic space army man, cat, you're going to have all the standard, weaponry that you would expect a well-equipped company to be going into battle with. And again, I can see now that there are little supports still in need of removal. And I tried to put them on the smallest base as possible. So they're all on 20 millimeter bases. And like I said, you got a lot of variety of poses, in addition to all of the various levels of the mesh itself. So if you wanted to really tweak, customize, and make each pose completely unique, that is something totally possible. But being a typical crowdfunding army campaign, or at least a good, healthy kill team sized, ensemble, we had a whole bunch of different options. So like I said, you've got your basic heavy, marksman there. You've got your close combat specialists. There were snipers. Actually, I really liked the snipers. They had these really cool looking camo cloaks. But for whatever reason, I forgot to print them again because I didn't have enough resin. But I did print one of the catkin snipers. It's a little hard to see, but they really remind me of Ratchet from the Ratchet and Clank series, except with big mustaches. And there's a whole unit of these guys. And I mean, honestly, you've got yourself, you want a whole cat-themed 5 Parsec, Stargrave crew, Space Weirdos, Planet 28, whatever game of your choice. There's everything you need here. And coincidentally, there's also male and female models. Granted, they're all, pretty fully armored, so it's a little hard to discern which is which. Obviously, if you start lowering the mesh and taking off the helmets, you can see them a lot better underneath there. But I like them fully kitted out. I mean, to me, if they're going to be an organized military force, you really want to have them all well equipped in that regard. I think this was the biggest stance I could find of the stuff that I printed. Like I said, I just grabbed a few files because I really liked the overall look of the armor. Nice, bulky, without being overly ridiculous. They look like they could be used in a variety of settings. There was even a sister Pantentia or something like that. So again, I keep missing these supports right under their chins. But it was like a whole panther penitent sister ready to lead them into combat. So I don't know, maybe my sense of scale is completely skewed, because when I first looked at these coming off the printer, I was like, oh man, these are kind of tiny, you know? But actually, not really. So for whatever reason, as I've stated many times on this channel, I don't own any actual official GW Guard models of any sort. I mean, it's not like I don't have any GW models, but and like searching around, is there any other vaguely human? So we'll save the 3D printed stuff here. I've got a Stargrave guy who is in desperate need of a little bit higher base. Unfortunately, those bases that North Star provides them with are just a little too short. But you can see here, this is at the native resolution. Fits in great. I don't see any size issues there. Now, they aren't modular in the sense that you're going to be having to glue everything together. So for some people, that's a positive and a negative. I know. Sometimes I don't feel like having to fiddle with, 17 little tiny pieces. But just like with those War Games Atlantic guys, with the Stargrave figure, I was looking for like some Necromunda stuff, which I always seem to have. Just not when I need it. Okay, but Delax a little bit large. Grabbing some more War Games Atlantic stuff since I have those painted. Grabbing a Warrior of the Grim Dark Far Future. Got a Vansar. So you can see, I mean, he's not super overtly out of place. He's not too tall, not too short. And there were mutant large-sized tigerkin, I believe they were called, to replace your Ogren types. And I mean, just grabbing a couple other guard type models that I have handy. I thought I grabbed something to stick the Frostgrave guy on. One of Dork Factory's recent, oh god, Head Count at Dawn, I believe it was called. Really cool little Kickstarter, and you should check out Dork Factory stuff anyway, because it's always fun and funky. Besides that point, but really scales up quite well. If you like your animal friends on the battlefield, then I think this is going to be a fun little set for you. And Velrock makes all kinds of interesting, funky stuff anyway, so go ahead, take a look through his back catalog there, and hopefully find something that you'll enjoy as much as these guys. And hopefully we'll see these guys on a Monday video in the grim darkness of the far future as well. So, with that said then, this has been a High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye!